Welcome, everybody. We're back to another wonderful Monday night of Chewin the BBQ Fat. Thank you for letting me do my little test run that I had earlier. I've got a GoPro trying to get everything ready for this weekend's class, getting everything set up with different setup than last year. So we're just trying to get it going. Want to do a quick little test. So thank you so much for coming on board and doing that little game that I played right there earlier. So thank you so much. Man, how exciting. Barbecue is starting to get heavy again for some of those. A lot of praying for all y'all that's stuck in snow, having to deal with that. Enjoy it. Enjoy that white stuff. Have fun with it, and just have a good time. Man, I tell you what. What's up, Richard? What's up, Nick? How y'all doing? Good to see you. I'm excited about tonight. I've been thinking a lot about the show and what we're going to do in 2024 and what it's going to look like. Going to do the round tables, going to do all that kind of fun stuff like we did last year. But I just kind of want to sit back and just have conversations with these guys, the guys out there in barbecue. And you know, there was something that I was as the banquet went on, and I was just thinking and impressed about the year that Jordan with Janky Leg and his whole team and everybody that's a part of that, the year they had, and it just made me sit back and think, man, I want to just sit down and talk to him, not get into anything, not get too caught up with comments and all that, but y'all know me, I will. So I just emailed him, texted him, great guy. And of course he reached out, or he didn't reach out. I reached out to him and he said he'd come on board. Just the kind of guy that he is. And then on the flip side of that, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of boring at this, and I don't always ask the great questions. So I want to reach out and have another host with me on this. So I went out and got the best guy I could think of, my main man, David, going. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. When you said the flip side, I knew exactly what you meant. Team of the year winner, and then the flip side is a knot. Yeah, I get it.
Well, you know, that's not true. You're a winner in hosts. You are the guy that can bring out. You got great energy, great questions, and I just thought I'd be excited to have you come on. And I know your wife is the one that spearheaded all this, but it's all good either way. So, David, what have you been doing here lately? What has life like been for you? Before we get started in our big conversation here tonight, and real quick, guys, like the page, share the page, get this out to as many people as we can. It's going to be a great time. Go ahead, David.
Preparing for your class. Your wife Ellen is a bulldog when it comes to wanting things and timelines and things and recipes and whatnot. So getting ready for that, getting excited about that. I ordered a couple new knives I want to try out this weekend. So real excited about that, obviously. And I don't know, we've been just hanging out, watching a lot of different podcasts and kind of keeping up with stuff. Actually watched the KCBS Team of the Year Awards the other night, and the roundtable discussion stuff, and we'll get into that later. But always on the mind of what we're going to do at barbecue next year, getting our schedule ready. Obviously looked at that as well. So it was cool. It's cool. By the way, when you had the screen over there a minute ago, I saw like 3 different drinks that you're having tonight. Is that correct?
Possibly. Depends on how the night goes. We are prepared for everything. It's going to be a good night. So let's just hope all 3 or at least 2 of those have a good time, and then we'll go from there. But you know,
if you drink them all by the end of the night, we know it's a good night.
It's going to be a great night. All right. So thank you so much, David. It's going to be fun. Do you have anything on the top of your head that you want to talk to Jordan about? I'm super excited. I mean, Jordan's a great guy, just a good down to earth dude. So I'm looking forward to our conversation. And we're going to go back and forth talking to him. So I say we just quit waiting around. If not, he'll probably be building his house or selling cars or doing something else. I mean, the guy's doing something nonstop. So let's go ahead and bring on Jordan before he jumps off to another one of his many activities he's got going on. What's going on, my main man?
How's it going?
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan, for coming on the show. Thank you for all you do for barbecue. Thank you for being a great ambassador. And I do appreciate you jumping on board as soon as I asked you to come on, if you would. And first of all, congratulations again. I know you've heard it a lot, but I guess after this weekend, the banquet, everything happened. So congratulations. Super proud of you. Great job, my man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So how was the banquet? As the champ, as everything being about you, give me a little bit of talk about how was the banquet for you, and then I know David's got a lot more coming on about it, but tell me a little bit about your weekend in Kansas City.
Banquet was a good time. It was cool hanging out with a lot of people, not worrying about really doing anything as far as cooking goes. Just, we got there Friday evening, went out to eat with a group of friends and just kind of hung out in the casino. And, Saturday they did a kind of the breakout sessions, and that was unique. That was pretty cool. I think I went to 3 or 4 of them, and it was just.
All right, hold on one second. They're saying they can't see you. Can you hear him? If you cannot see him, can you hear him?
We can hear him, but I think he's got his lights turned off. Okay, there he is now.
Am I good?
You're good. You're good now.
I don't know. Nothing's changed. I've seen you clear the whole time. So I'm sorry.
I can see. I can see you now.
He's back. There he is, guys. We tried to hide him. He's such a big deal. We're trying to disguise him a little bit, but there he is in all his glory. Jordan, welcome back to the show now. Sorry about that.
Thank you. So yeah, the banquet was cool. I mean, I don't know. It was a good time. We had fun. You did a little gambling, a little drinking. It's nice to. I don't know. I probably only drink about 3 or 4 times a year, and I made that one of them. So it was.
What was the drink of choice?
I mean, Captain and Coke guy.
Captain and Coke. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. Allie's pregnant, so she's walking around with her little water or Diet Coke, and I think I heard her say about 1,000 times that she wished she was drinking. So.
Tell you what, Dave, what you got for her, Jordan?
Well, I did notice at the very beginning of the awards banquet, they did present you with the royal stuff. Is that correct? Did I miss that, or did I see that?
Yeah, they presented, I guess, the actual printed check, from the royal, which it's appreciated, but royal's kind of obviously happy about the royal and everything, but it's time to move on from the royal.
Gotcha. Can you? We couldn't really see from the camera angle as to how many people were there. About how many teams and people were actually at the banquet or the whole weekend's festivities.
For some reason, I'm wanting to say a couple hundred. I didn't really get too far into the numbers of it, but I think there was a little over 200 people there, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it a pretty good format? I mean, I know in the past they've had a contest with it. Did it seem okay? The fact there was no contest associated with the banquet itself.
I liked that more. You're able to sit down and actually talk with people, as friends instead of competitors or worrying about what your timeline calls for, prepping something. You know how it is. It was nice. I actually had someone make a comment when I walked into the room. They were like, "Man, you dress nice. You've never seen me as a real person." I think it was a really good format. I would really like the breakout sessions. I went to one of the deals about like rub and sauce business, and just kind of got the background on just kind of if someone was interested in creating a product and kind of what the process would be to move forward on that. And then I went and listened to Joe Pierce and a couple others talk about the restaurant industry. And then the Legends class I thought was pretty top notch. You had Tuffy, Johnny Trigg, Chris Lilly, and Amy Mills there, and they just kind of talked their story, and Amy talked a lot about her dad, Mike. And that was just pretty neat to hear, and just to kind of hear the backstory of them and how barbecue was whenever, they were in their prime and running hard. I like to hear that, and just kind of the difference as far as where barbecue is at now versus maybe where it was then. It really seemed a lot more of like when they talked about the annual meeting, they talked about, it was a big to, and everyone at that point in time really looked forward to that. And I get it, I get that there's probably a lot of people with mixed emotions with everything that happened this season with barbecue, and trying to process everything. And I know some people are up in arms, and others. I just know there's a lot of different outlooks on it. And also, I know the weather was tough. But it was nice to see. It was nice to see friends talk about stuff other than how their brisket is this week. If you were to ask me, I would pick that format every year.
That's good to hear. That I didn't know what to think about it. Our first time was last year when they had the one in Gadsden. It seemed like it worked out well just because you got teams, but then again, you really didn't get. It's not perfect for anybody because how are teams across the country that have to travel so far, and what makes it logical? But I guess with the breakout sessions, like you said, it's a learning opportunity for everybody. I did happen to watch, Jordan, the roundtables that I think Charlie Brenza was part of one, and some other people part of one. And I don't know if you saw those or not. Brian, I spoke to you about it a little bit. I found them very interesting.
Yeah. So not to cut you off, they had some of those at the same time. If I'm not, I think that they may have had like the judging one about the same time as either the restaurant one or the rub and sauce business one. So I didn't get a chance to go over there, but I heard it was good, or a lot of things discussed.
I would recommend people watching it, honestly, that have that can go back on the Facebook, on KCBS website or the KCBS Facebook page. It answers some questions about people and about how the software works and how it doesn't work, and it didn't solve anything. But if people want a little more information about how things work and how a contest work and what reps' responsibilities are, it's worth watching. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so Jordan, you made a comment how something about where we are this year in barbecue, or where we're at right now in barbecue. Where do you see us in barbecue right now? What do you see the state of barbecue in right now?
I think a lot of uncertainty, I'd sit here and be lying to you, times that I haven't sat back and questioned a lot of things too. I spent a lot of money this year, traveled all over the country. A lot of people did, but I Royal, everything with the Royal, and then turn around and happen in Atlanta. I know that I was affected through the Royal, and trust me, there's nothing more that I wish that wouldn't have happened than that ordeal at the Royal, and then us turning around and winning the thing. I've said it before. I won't go back and say that I'm not happy that we run the Royal because I'm ecstatic, but there'll always be an asterisk by that. And deep down that sucks sometimes because we worked our ass off this year. I cooked as solid as anyone in the country and as consistent as anyone in the country. And, there's people that have comments. And, unfortunately, those people don't mean shit. But the same breath, you gotta, if you don't have any confidence in KCBS, you move on. But I'd like to think that I'm fairly optimistic and hope that everything writes out and, we can all move forward. And hopefully KCBS does the same thing. And, I'm gonna continue to cook because guess what? I really don't want to travel to Texas every weekend and cook. I'd like to go to Texas and cook. I'm going to do that a couple times a year, but a lot of us wouldn't have our name out there to a group of individuals if KCBS didn't exist.
Yeah. I've said all along KCBS is, well, I've got a fire going for those asking what that popping is. Got a fire going. I keep saying KCBS is what we need. It's the only worldwide one that is okay and has that opportunities. And I'm looking forward to the new guys that just came in, right? That was just voted in and that was announced. Hey, look, David Qualls is on. I was glad to see the guys coming in, see some new things happening. Because I have my feeling, right? Like, I'm one of the contests that had our issues. And look, after all of this, after everything that's going on, I think there's a lot of people that have to take responsibility in all this. And it's going to be, there's Paul. All right. It takes the organizers, it takes the reps, it takes Casey, the board, it takes everybody to get on board and make this thing figured out. Because right now, the thing that's, I'm not going to say irritating, but to me, all I got from the whole thing was our scoring system's fine. Our scoring system's fine. Our scoring system's fine. I don't care about the scoring. The KCBS is bigger than the scoring system.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't figure that part out, then we're going to be in trouble. And I've had this conversation with the new guys coming on. And I think they know, like, look, KCBS is bigger than a scoring system. It's the reps, it's the judges, it's everything that all together comes in. And if the reps don't know what to do, well, that's on KCBS also. The reps are the face of KCBS. It's not the scoring system, is not the face of KCBS. If they would get that out of their mind, it would be amazing to me. They got so much that they can do to make this so much better if they'll figure out what's going on. So, and I do believe, with our little roundtable we had with I guess, was it 4 of them, 5, with 4 of them that came on, to talk about what they see. I feel confident that those guys that came on are going to try to make a difference. And I guess, David, why don't you tell everybody who they are, who got nominated?
The people that were elected were David Qualls, Paul Buab, and Thomas Gerhardt. I know Thomas was part of I think some association in California. He now lives in Nashville. Paul obviously has been very active, and David was on the board prior to that. So these guys have a lot of experience, and I'm excited about all 3 of them. It's going to be, I think it's going to be some new folks. I don't know who went off the board, and I don't know how they did, and I don't really know that world of it. But obviously, you can't look at the past. You got to look at the new guys coming on and see if, what the new guys and existing guys can do. And it's one of those things that takes a lot of work and a lot of time and commitment. And these guys sound like they really want to do it. So,
yeah, a lot of things changing. And Jordan, you made the comment that you don't want to go to Texas every week to cook. I think that I'm just going to interpret that to my way. You can tell me that I'm wrong. CBA is the other opportunity that you're talking about. The great organization going on down in Texas. They're doing wonderful things, but they're staying in Texas right now, and all of their contests are in Texas. And they have in Texas is big enough, and they got enough teams that they can handle all that. So I just think it's a great thing to see. I was talking to Bill Purvis. I'm like, man, are y'all going to expand outside of Texas? And I know that's their goal to do that. I don't know when or how or what, but man, they got a $50,000 contest coming up. I think you signed up for it, didn't you?
I'm going to cook it, yeah.
Man, what are your thoughts on going from a KCBS cook to that?
I haven't thought a whole lot about barbecue since the end of the season, but I'm going to start practicing. I'm going to start practicing here in a week or 2. I need to learn how to do a half chicken. I've never swung at it, so I'm going to start working on that. I've been talking to Bill Purvis quite a bit, and don't get me wrong. If CBA was closer, I would love to explore that. It's just I'm not a huge fan of. It's crazy as it sounds. I'm not a huge fan of driving that far, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna cook that CBA one the week before Houston, and then stay down there in Texas for the week, and I'm going to cook Houston the following week. So
Awesome.
Yep.
That's great. David, I know you're in the Memphis area. You're not in Memphis, but you're in that vicinity.
Mhm.
Another big major thing going on in barbecue is Memphis in May and what's the new
Smoke Slam, isn't it?
Smoke
Smoke
Slam?
Slam. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jordan, did you do Memphis in May last year?
No. I've been down a couple of times. I've never cooked in it, or I was never been involved with it. Tim with Blues Hog had asked if I was going to come down there, but I was cooking quite a bit, and decided I'd stick with KCBS, try to keep on the run. But yeah, I would like to. I kind of like the idea. I've heard a lot of things, but I'm not involved in the Memphis and May side, or even in. I've kind of looked at maybe possibly dabbling into it once or twice, but I've heard a lot of different mixed emotions on Memphis and May and kind of the new one that's come out that same weekend. But I'd like to maybe check it out one year.
Yeah. I mean, David, you're in that area. What are your thoughts and what do you see happening there?
We did Memphis in May. Joel and I did it when we first started. We started the MBN World, and we did I think 3 or 4 Memphis in May events, and it's different. It's not like ACBS. Obviously, it's a different animal. My thoughts about the new one coming on board the same weekend. There's been a lot of chatter about the new one, and I think I don't know that the new one's going to survive. It just seems like a lot of folks are going to the old school Memphis in May event just out of pure allegiancy to the event and what it means to them. Obviously, being a world champion event or it means a lot, right? Versus a first year event, because it's just a first year event that has a lot of money behind it. So what does it really mean for a lot of folks? So it means folks can go win some money. So we're not going to be here for either one of them. We're going to Sevierville ourselves. So that weekend. So for me and Joel, it means nothing. But I'm very curious to see what teams are going to sign up and how many teams are going to sign up for the event. I like to say that, in my barbecue world, that I want both of them to do well, because I think it only betters barbecue, but maybe it doesn't better barbecue. I don't. It's a weird phenomenon, because Memphis Barbecue Network, who used to be part of Memphis in May, and they're no longer part of Memphis in May, is now part of the new Smoke Slam. It makes it a little muddy. So judging, where you get judges from, the whole thing will be very logistically interesting. There's a lot of politics behind it, I believe, but thank goodness we're not part of it. Kevin King will not be there, so we're not gonna be there. If we were, I don't know what we'd do, but we're not being part of the deal. I'm very interested to see what happens.
Jordan, I'm going to ask you a really dumb question. Do you care anything about either one of them?
I mean, do I care about it?
Yeah. Do you care that Memphis in May moved from the river? Do you care that there's another one being on top of it? Is it how big is Memphis in May these days? I mean, I know it's still a world champion. I know it's, but is it? I get, how big is Memphis in May right now to you?
I mean, I watch the awards and I'm excited to see who wins it. I like barbecue. Hell, I watch CBA awards, and I don't know half those people.
Right.
I watch it. I'm KCBS driven, but I would like to. I'm not saying that that's not important. I sound like a politician. Yeah.
That's why I ask, right? Like, so part of what I'm trying to get at is, we all still think. I mean, you got to say that KCBS is the best sanctioning body out there, right? I mean, for when I say the best, it's probably not the best sanctioning body, but it's the widest it's got the most range. It can do more. They're all good sanctioning bodies. I don't mean any of them are bad. It's just KCBS is more of a global kind of thing, more so than Memphis is. And I know Memphis has got teams coming in from around the world also. But what does it look like? I mean, David, as you being in that Memphis area, in the Jack Daniels, right? Like Jack is in that is a one time a year thing for a lot of people in these areas. How big are these majors? Like, how big is Houston Rodeo when you say you can't get in it, right? Like the only way you can get in it is that there's a corporation that has been able to sponsor you, or you're a champion like Jordan and you automatically get in these things. Like, what does that do to our sport where you have a Royal type, or you have some of these bigger contests that all you have to do is just sign up and you can get in and go? What does that look like to you, David?
Well, I think that Memphis in May is really not a true invitational, honestly, because you don't have to win anything to really get into it. You just have to pay a lot of money. And I you see Charles's comment there. He's exactly right. It could cost upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 to actually cook that thing. That's not barbecue. That's just having a big party. I mean, going to the Jack or the Royal, you're not spending nearly that kind of money to potentially win a world championship. So is it lackluster from the fact that, yes, it's just it's a party event, and there's only, I'm going to make some people mad here, but there's going to be only 20 to 30 teams that potentially could win it? Probably, yeah, because you have so many, we'll call it backyard teams that are on the pro side that just really want to go and have a good time, which is great. But, are you truly getting, should Jordan honestly be there and get an invite because he won the Royal and won Team of the Year in KCBS? Of course he should be, but it's a whole different cooking thing that he could do, and it's pick one meat and go and do it. But he should have an invite to that because he's truly one of the best cooks in the country, versus somebody down there in the bottom that's been cooking the thing for 40 some years that hasn't even jumped up past the top 50. What's the point? They need those people because we all have heard the term field fillers, but is it truly an invitational similar to what the best of the best as the Royal and the Jack Daniels is? It's not. And I people can beat me up for it all day long, but it's truly not the best of the best in this event.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just like I told y'all last week, I would love to cook the contest. I would love to be a part of Memphis in May. I think it's a goal of ours. We're going to have our auditions to have the teams come out and do this. We've already talked about that. But I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. I'm just curious where the landscape is in barbecue with what's happening. It's obviously Memphis is trying to get rid of Memphis in May or of some sort. And I'm just curious to see what happens, what kind of turnout we get. So awesome. I just kind of wanted to stir that up a little bit, Jordan. I didn't want you to get in the middle of it, but I did want to just see what you thought about it.
Assuming it's probably, not to keep going on it, but I'm assuming it's all financial driven for Memphis. I mean, they mentioned that the attendance was down quite a bit when they moved it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. They're there. They had the Bill Street. It's a whole month thing with the music festival and the barbecue festival thing. So you're exactly right, Jordan. It's bringing millions of dollars in for the city for people to enjoy it. But and also when they do the renovations downtown at the Handy Park, not whatever the park is down there, Riverside Park, whatever it is. But you're exactly right. It's a money driven thing for the city.
But they're spending a ton of money though. Like from my understanding, this new contest is the city is behind it, and the city is putting money towards it, and the city is. So it's not like the city wants to get rid of Memphis in May. They just maybe they want to be in charge of Memphis. I don't know. I would love to know the facts behind or what went on behind all that. But anyway, all right. So enough of that. Jordan, back to you real quick. What has been the KCBS champion done for you Is it? I know it hasn't changed you because you're not that kind of person. But what is this? How has this affected you and Allie?
I haven't sold any more cars because of it. uh,
Here you go.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, nothing. I don't know. A sense of pride, you know.
Okay, all right.
But Jordan, I mean, have you ever thought about doing classes now? Because of people want to know what's going on. I mean, can you do a class like regionally? Do one up your way, do one down our way, do one in different areas so that we all can learn exactly what you're doing?
It's funny you mention it. So I actually went and helped a buddy of mine do a class here a couple weeks ago. Brad Cox with Local Yokels. He don't cook a ton. You know, he cooks 10, maybe a year. But, you know, if he was to really put some miles on his vehicle, he would be a contender. You know, he's a hell of a cook. And he had asked me, we're best friends, and he had his pits. And
Wait a second. I thought we were best friends.
I'm sorry?
I'm kidding. I said I thought we were best friends, Jordan.
I'm
kidding.
Yeah, he had asked me to come help with that, so I did. And then he dropped the bomb on me when I got there. He was like, "Hey, look, you know, I said to some people you were helping, so you got to chime in." So I was like, I'm standing outside and just playing with these toggles on this gateway drum. But yeah, so I put my opinion in when he asked me for it. And after the class, you know, he kind of got in my head because he was like, "Man, I wish you'd have a class and this and that." And I never really wanted to have a class. I kicked it around. But like I told Allie, as soon as barbecue season was over this year, we started a big remodel on our house. Allie's pregnant, work, life. And I was like, I don't have time to do it, you know? Well, then after that conversation, me and Team Wolf were kind of talking on the way back from his house and from Brad's house. And he was like, "Man, we should do a class, you know?" And I went as far as I had a flyer made and just talking to a couple friends. I think I had 6 or 7 people signed up because I had mentioned I was thinking about it, but I wasn't sure. And I was like, if I was going to do it, it was going to be this date. And then the next day I was working on my house all day. I was thinking about it and I was like, I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go ahead and announce it. But problem was it was going to be like second week of March, and Allie's due March 30th. And I was like, I could just see me have a class, be in the middle of something on a Friday or Saturday night, trimming meat, and her water break. And then I have people I have to tell, I'm sorry, I got to go. And then it would just be a bad look. So anyway, long and short is I talked myself out of it. I'm not going to do a class. But I do believe I am gonna have a class, or if I can fill up 2, I think I'm gonna do it next season.
Would you go the Bill Hine route, you think, this year at all, and do some private classes?
I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it.
Damn, I can't get this man to give me anything, Brian. This is bullshit.
You're trying. I love the effort, David.
Can I give you cash right now? What's the deal?
Man, I don't know. I'd want to make sure that I'm a talker. I over talk things, and I would want to be really detailed. So I'd want to really have my shit together. And I don't know if I had somebody in my trailer, I feel like we would go way to the left of what needs to be done just because I'd be talking. So I don't know that I'd be good for a one-on-one class like Bill. He can pretty well stay laser focused. I'm more of I do my own thing. It would, if someone was to do a class with me or be in my trailer with me, they probably couldn't talk to me because I would just have to do they'd have to go and hit the hot lap around the comp, you know, a couple times and talk to people, and I'd have us both confused. So I don't, and I'm not really thinking about that. I don't even know how much we're going to cook this year. I was all against just really pulling back and only cooking, you know, I don't know. I know it's still a lot, but 20 comps probably. And then the more we've thought about it, Allie's actually, after we have Cruise, she is going to be off work for 6 months. And she's like, well, I could travel with you, you know, because she is employed through the state of Illinois. So sometimes she can't get off, you know, like she needs to. And I'm like, yeah, we bringing a 5-year-old and a 2 or 3 month old around would be a tough chore. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
It's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. So we got a class happening next year. It's no, I'm just kidding.
I do.
There's always an opportunity if you just go ahead.
I said I do plan on having a class or two or whatever I can do next year.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad your wife is watching. I'm glad she's here commenting for us because she is able to talk for you because you're not doing it. And so she's going to answer for you. Thank you, Allie. You're the best. My answer to your question about how winning Team of the Year has changed things for us. Well, me just feels like all the work I've watched him put in has finally paid off. Proud of him for never giving up, even when we sucked. I don't know if y'all ever sucked, but that's awesome. I mean, you know, you have worked hard. I've got to know Bill introduced you to me, and I've got to know you through him. And just watching your progression has been amazing. And I think it's awesome to see. Great guy. Couldn't have happened to a better person. I love it. And like I say, once again, congratulations. So Nashville, Tennessee. I hear that's going to be a good time coming up.
For the contest?
No, not a contest. For a class.
Class. That's right.
That is going to be. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be in Nashville. I've never been to Nashville. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anybody in that Nashville area, Friday, I'll be there. Come say hello. Anyway, David will be there too. So I was just thinking about David.
It's fine. Yeah, I'll be there. It's cool, but it's Brian's there, and that's all that matters, really.
I saw birthday, and it just brought up. Anyway, sorry. So birthday boy in the house coming soon in the house. Yeah, I think we're all glad you didn't give up, Jordan. So you're already kind of said a little bit about what this year looks like, or is gonna look like. Just give a little bit more in depth of what you're going to be doing November 16th. Do you think you'll be coming back down to the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic?
I do. Yeah, I plan on doing that.
Good.
Here is my goal. I'll just tell you this. Depending on how it plays out, I really am not wanting to be a shitty husband or father and dipping out on Allie when we have crews. With that being said, I am kind of a shithead. My goal, we have four wins for the Jack, and last year we had 3. And my goal, even though we're autoed into the Jack, my goal, I would like to auto in with 7. That was my goal last year, and we got to 6. And we were so close to getting 7 there the last weekend of it. And so my goal is to, if we could auto into the Jack with 7, that is a big goal for me. If that happens, you know, we'll have 3 wins in for the year. Who knows? I'm not sitting here telling you that we're going to chase because that's not even what my mind is thinking right now. But if we'll see how the year goes, you know, if it plays out, and hell, you never know. We could come out and be a dud and be a one-hit wonder and go from there. But we'll see.
Aaron, I couldn't agree more. He did just announce that he's going for it. That's what I interpreted out of all that. Even his wife has said it sounds like a lot of cooking. So there's gonna be a lot of cooking now to get that auto in. So real quick, just my ignorance. What do you have to win? Because I know Bill Purvis did this last year. He was chasing the 7. Where all can you get the autos in? Like what kind of sanctioning bodies or whatever?
I'm sure that it's any sanctioning body. Like I know that St. Louis Barbecue Society. I'm pretty sure that you can get qualify as long as you win a qualifying comp that meets the criteria for the jack. So like if you win an SOBS, that's one, or KBS or what have you. I assume CBA, not saying by any means that we might go down there and get mopped all over the floor, but yeah. So just kind of playing it by ear, and would really like to get that goal if we can.
I could see you doing it. I could see you doing it. I know that was Bill Purvis's goal last year. Like he just was chasing 7, right? Like that was his goal, not chasing anything else, just chasing 7. If we could all be like David right there and have our big Jack Daniels barrel over our head, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's really all I got. Like, hey, by the way, to get your 7th one, the last 2 years, the guy who went down to Hog Wild, which is in Brandon, Mississippi, that's where both those guys. That's where Chris got his 7th. That's where Bill got his 7th last year. So, just saying.
I got so I went to Dodge City last year. That double was the last weekend for the Jack, and I don't remember what I got day 1, but I don't know, 4th or something, 5th. But day 2, I got 3rd with like a 707 or 708, and I was like, and Bill Purvis and Kurt Wallace ended up beating me there. I got 3rd, and afterwards, on the way home, buddy of mine was like, "Damn, when's a 708 ever let you down?" I'm like, "No shit." Yeah,
Gotta get better. Gotta get better.
I thought we may have had a real good chance at it, but those 2 guys, they cooked their asses off that weekend. So,
speaking of Bill Purvis, he's on. Chicken Fried's on. The Jack has to recognize the sanctioning body. So, I believe it's anything the 4 meat contest, I think is what it is what the Jack is all about. But real quick, I'm going to give Bill a quick plug. Tomorrow night, 8 or 8:30, one of the two. I'm sure he can put it on there what time it is. But he has got a new podcast coming out, Chicken Fried with Chicken Fried, tomorrow night, Tuesday night. I want to say it's 8:30 Central or 8 Central, something along those lines. It's going to be awesome. 3 meats. Thank you, Bill. He's going to come. He's going to have his podcast. Y'all look for it. Get in there, watch that thing, show him some love. You know it's going to be first class. He does a great job with everything he does. I can't wait to watch it. But Bill Purvis, Chicken Fried with Chicken Fried, tomorrow night, either at 8 or 8:30. Maybe he'll post something on here and give everybody an answer to that. That would be awesome. All right, so Jordan, what is your favorite podcast?
favorite.
I mean, there's one answer you got to get. I'm just putting it up there on Monday nights. What's your favorite podcast on Monday nights?
This definitely Chewin the Fat. Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, David. What about you?
Yes, I can't keep them all straight. I got. Thank God you're on Monday, because Tuesday's getting busy and Wednesday's getting busy and Thursday. This sets the tone for the week. By the way, that is 8 p.m.
He put on there 8 Central.
Yep. And there are some sketchy guests on there, by the way.
Wes Garrett. Holy Nikes.
Well, yeah. Between Wes and Chris Schaefer, there's not going to be a lot of talking. It's going to be a lot of fighting back. I mean, there's going to be a lot going on there. I applaud Bill for trying to get those guys putting a ring together. It'd be awesome.
Well, when Bill Purvis is on it, he controls the room. You know, he can put them in their place. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch it. But Bill's a great guy, good friend. Can't wait to watch it. I hope all the best for you, buddy. Love it.
Not to give Bill too much of a plug, but man, talk about just a true ambassador, classy guy, man. Bill Purvis is top notch in every aspect.
100%.
Not just because I need some more chicken tips, but really, he is a top notch guy.
He really, I mean, we were blessed to be able to meet him, and I'm telling you what, it was when he was doing all of his East Coast stuff. I mean, just a great guy. We got to stay behind. He was right behind us at Greenwood a couple years ago. I mean, you couldn't have him and his wife, both great people. And I hope all the best for him. So, yes, I know. I'm all about sharing the barbecue love. Watch this show. There's a bunch of good shows out. Y'all go watch them. But it's just as long as you admit we're the best. That's all there is to it. I'm just kidding. So, all right, David, I've talked a lot. I'm on number 2. So we're going to let you ask the next question here.
Well, I've asked the question obviously about the classes. I think we almost got Jordan down to giving me a class for free. And I think we got a schedule down pat this year. Jordan, do you think do you plan on changing anything? And you don't have to tell us what you're changing, but are you, now that you kind of are the team of the year, got the belt wrapped around you right now, is this a year to experiment on some things or try new things? Or are you going to stay with your old trusty stuff?
I'm going to try to stay consistent, I don't know. I'm telling you, that class of Brad Cox's, man, you could ask Paul and Lynn with Rooters and Tutors. They were there. We tried his brisket, and all 3 of us, my neck about snapped. I blurted out unknowingly, told Brad he's been holding out, didn't tell me what he's been doing here, because it was a lights out brisket. He was concerned about selling the class. He was like, I don't cook a bunch and this and that. And his brisket, man, it was one of the best briskets I've ever ate. And I was like, man, I said, you just sold another class, in my opinion. So I might try to take a little bit of those notes and maybe see if I can put something together. It was a very good brisket.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, man, no, I may play around with ribs. If I'm gonna have a class, I can't be giving out Bill Hines ribs. So that's what I told him. I talked to him about having that class. I was like, damn, man, I ran my rib recipe about 85% of the year. And I just, like an idiot, I was like, man, I just kind of feel like my ribs are inconsistent. And he's like, why don't you just run mine? And for 2 years, I've been like, I am not running his rib recipe. It's a sense of pride for me. I'm not giving him satisfaction. And I finally gave in, and shit, once I started running his ribs, they started hitting real good. And so I told him when I was talking about having a class, I was like, I really don't want to give your recipe out, but I might. No, I'm kidding. But
that recipe is going to be given out this weekend in Watkinsville, Georgia. It is going to be a blast. You were there last year, Jordan.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait for our class this weekend. And I know the local yokel brisket was good. Ain't seen nothing against the guy that's cooking the brisket at my class this weekend. That guy is going to knock it out of the park. You talk about the best brisket you've ever had. You're going to be here this weekend. David's cooking brisket at our class this weekend, and you can look at the guy. I mean, he even knows it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited about new knives and everything. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, why not? I'm stoked.
I mean, it's going to be awesome. I mean,
David told me in Murfreesboro last year, oh man, my brisket. I don't know, Jordan. It wasn't that good. It wasn't.
It wasn't that good.
And what? Did you win brisket? I think you won.
It may be. It was my first ever perfect if it makes counting, really.
Yeah. Him and Joel were sandbagging. They had me over here. I have a chance, and them two just put it on.
Sorry.
You're not even.
Want that information? This weekend's the place to get it. So anyway, Jordan, what did you think about our class last year?
That was a good class, Man, I probably should have signed up. I'd like to see David's brisket.
It's not too late. Come on down.
Hey,
to have you.
Here, man. I'm telling you, I'll trade my brisket for all your stuff you got. I mean, I think it's a fair trade. I really do.
Yeah.
Jordan, you've never heard me just ask you for all this stuff. That's not something that I'm going to do. David, on the other hand, he's not afraid. He's not ashamed. No shame in his game.
He's dirty.
I'm trying to sell to a salesman. This is impossible right now. I have no chance of selling to a salesman.
Just asking business over here.
That's right.
I love it. What is the one contest you're looking forward to next year or this year, whenever, 2024?
Murfreesboro is always a big comp that I look forward to. If you've never cooked it, I would highly suggest it. And it, there's a few this year, man.
That's the one right before the Royal, correct?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know when the Royal is this year?
I don't think so.
Because they got the NASCAR race the weekend that we had it this year.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's going to be the 2 weeks before that. I mean, if anybody knows, let Jordan know and he'll let me know. But I don't know. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think Allie's my new best friend now.
Why
Forget
is that?
you, Jordan. Forget you, Jordan. You're
Yeah.
out. Allie's
Who's
in.
Jordan? Jordan who?
I can't see any of these comments, so I have no idea what is being said. But
Allie said if I give her margaritas after this baby, I get a lot of secrets. I'm just saying.
hey, you get Allie drinking, she's liable to tell you the whole boat.
Yes. Sounds like Joelle. Perfect.
They said this fall at the banquet. Thank you, Aaron. That I'm assuming it's going to be in September, October. Would be. Oh my God, Wes Garrett. Y'all look out. Wes is here. So, all right, Jordan, now that we've grilled you for a little bit, I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask David some questions that you want to go after. Is there anything that you have to ask him?
How many comps do you think you'll do this year?
It's funny you said that because Joelle and I looked at the schedule the other day, and unfortunately, there's so many comps that overlap each other this year. It sucks. There's one weekend where there's 3 comps that we could possibly do that we've done in the past that are on the same weekend. It is not awesome. So probably I'm still going to do probably 15 to 17 as my magic number, but we don't travel far. I think the furthest we're going to travel is probably Sevierville this year. That'll be a new comp for us in Maryville.
You gonna do
Murfreesboro well, I think that's what it's on a weird weekend. So I think
you
there's
last year, didn't you?
I did. I think Murfreesboro is an awesome contest. I think it's very well run. And it really comes down to that, honestly, Jordan. It's like, does money matter? Does the prize, the actual trophy matter? Does the way the contest run, does that matter? Yes, it all matters. But I think you got to weigh those things when you have multiple comps on the same weekend, unfortunately, which I hate to say that, but there's one here that's going to be local, maybe 30 minutes away from the house, but I'm going to travel probably 3 hours to go to another one that I think is a better run contest. I have a better chance of winning than one's more local, but oh well, it is what it is, so it'll be interesting this year. I think that KCBS needs to get a real handle on some of these overlapping events and get an idea of how to space these things out geographically better to make it more feasible for folks to do stuff. I think it's tough, but we'll see.
I'm just going to say it's not on KCBS. It's on the organizers.
Is it not? Okay.
That's my take. That's 100% my take. As somebody that got shut down for having a contest, whatever, on there, if they say they're going to let you do it, go do a better job. And then the other one, anyway, sorry, that was a touchy subject with me, David.
No, I'm fine. I don't know the intricacies behind it, but it just sucks sometimes,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I just saw where Florida lost another contest.
It's lost a ton.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just in 2 years, I'd say we probably lost 6 or 7 comps. Good comps, man, that were just solid. I mean, hell, Washington, Missouri just backed out, and I mean, they always had a huge group. I don't know if there was something else involved, but I mean, that was, hell. I mean, Tim and Terry bring a crew. Most people want to cook that simply because they're around, and then they have a big block party. I don't know the ins and outs of organizing a comp, but I'm curious as to why a lot of them are shutting down.
Yeah, that's some good contests that have had good results. Why are they what is going on? Why is it happening? It's going to be interesting to see. I'd love to hear that also. Another show, another time. But it's kind of crazy to see a lot of the good contests are backing out, and I don't know why. I'm telling you right now, the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic is going to happen this year. We've done everything that's going to happen. Hopefully, going to have bigger, better price payouts. Be able to give away more money. We've got a lot of fun things in store for next year, but I think that's part of it. The organizers, it's a lot, it's a lot. So Bill Purvis in Houston is asking for Allie's favorite drink, and he's got some truth serum coming out, just to figure everything out. So it's going to be awesome.
Fingers crossed. Allie's favorite drink in Houston is probably water or diet soda. Because I'm really
when is Houston?
2 weeks before her due date.
Oh wow. Okay. I hear you. We don't want any babies in. Aaron Stouffer's already said that you have a private class happening for $2,000.
That is not true.
I didn't think it was minimum. That's the current bid
for him.
5,000.
He didn't let me be a sponsored team, so I put myself out there as an honorary man meat team.
Yeah, I mean, he just announces. And speaking of announcing teams, we're going to announce ours sometime this week or some point in time. We're just not any good at that. But yes, Levi, it is up to $10,000. Yes, so for $10,000, you can go take. Jordan will give you. He'll do everything. It'll be amazing.
I'll do a lot. You can come hang out and I'll teach you. I'll show you everything you want to know.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't want to know all that. I don't want to know all that.
Ali said sold. Oh, and Aaron, isn't that all right? I'm just gonna talk to Aaron real quick. He said he also didn't apply to be a team, right? I mean, we're supposed to read minds. We're supposed to read minds who wants to be and who doesn't want to be sponsored. I mean, it's amazing how that works, isn't it, Aaron? But I'm telling you what, if you were selected to be a Man Meat ambassador team, congrats. That is a great company, a great guy to be associated with. He's doing awesome things. Keep it up, Aaron. You're doing a wonderful job. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, you heard it here first. That the new kitchen at Jordan's house, at Jordan and Allie's house, is going to be. It just got upgraded a little bit with this $15,000 class that's going to be auctioned off. It's going to be amazing.
This kitchen will be sponsored by Colorado Bulldog. It's going to have a big thing over the stove right there, big old envelope.
I have full wolf over my oven.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Guys, y'all are the best. Jordan, thank you so much for being such an ambassador to barbecue. Thank you for all that you do. Congratulations again. I know you worked your butt off to get there. You did a great job. So awesome. Congrats again. Congratulations to Paul. Congratulations to David. Congratulations to Thomas for joining the KCBS board. We know you're going to do great things. I've already reached out to David to see if I can't get the three of y'all back on to do a show and just talk about that. It's going to be awesome. David, I mean, pretty soon you're going to be kicking me out and you're going to be the host of this thing. You're so good at it. Thank you for all you do.
The competition, you're going to see Kith and Kid's podcast on Monday nights.
Yeah. I'm just going to be booted.
Monday nights at 8 Central. Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Brought to you by the Atlanta Barbecue Store. It's going to be amazing.
Not happening.
No, it's kind of cool seeing all these podcasts pop up. I love doing this. We've been doing it for a long time. It's a lot of fun. Can't wait to see what all happens with barbecue. If you're coming to the class Friday, can't wait to see you. It's going to be a blast. Tomorrow night, chicken fried with chicken fried will be on 8 Central. It's going to be a good time. Wes, I'm sure Wes wanted you to do it on Monday nights, but you know what, Bill, you're a good enough dude not to go after me like that. Wes, we don't know about that character. He's something else. He's a work in progress. Anyway, Jordan, go finish up your house. I know we pulled you away from working on your house. Go see your bride. Tell everybody we said hello. David, thank you so much. Tell your bride we said hello. I'm going to go tell my bride hello. Y'all have a good night, and we will see you next week on Chewin the BBQ Fat. Have a good one, everybody.